evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we keep nearing ever so closer. We are just a couple weeks away from episode 500. It is so close, you can practically smell it right around the corner. But that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's show is Berkley Mania 7. We are going to be joined by some of the people from WDWA as they promote their biggest show of the year, Berkley Mania 7. And there is liable to be some fireworks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? I'm not here by myself, as always, and so I need to get my co-host in here. Shout out to Assad checking in. You know, my co-host is a man who needs absolutely no introduction, ladies and gentlemen. But hopefully you haven't forgotten him. It's been a little while since he's been here, but he is just absolutely unforgettable. So let's get him in here, the one and only Renee the Night Owl Martinez!
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. What an honor and a privilege it is for me to be back in front of all of you beloved and appreciated members of the Wrestle Talk family. Hoss, it's been over a month since your boy has had the pleasure of helping host one of these Wrestle Talk podcast episodes. And dude, when I left, we were like 490. You know, we were kind of in that ballpark. And now, bro, I mean, damn, 3 weeks away, counting this week from episode 500, 10 years in the making. I know you guys saw the intro. It was freaking incredible. But man, that intro, I think, helps capitalize at least a little bit on how excited I am, not only about tonight's show, but on the shows leading up to the biggest show in Wrestle Talk podcast history, Wrestle Talk Podcast 500. Hoss, I missed you, bro.
Brother, I have missed you too, and let me tell you, it is great to have you back. It looks like our fans are excited to have you back. We got Assad welcoming you back into the house, Susie welcoming you back in the house. You know, it is just awesome to see you back in the saddle again, my friend. I tell you, how have you been? It's been a while.
Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with my vacation story. We can do that on another podcast. But I will tell you that it was a little difficult, man, because I have been knee-deep in the wrestling game now for close to 10 years. Since Sonny took me to my very first independent show, everybody knows the Wrestle Talk Podcast connection, the FWWC connection from the early days to now. Like I said, getting near episode 500, bro. It's really hard to kind of put into words what all this means. I can tell you that the vacation was wonderful, but in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I haven't been able to really watch wrestling over these last couple of weeks. And so, of course, getting back just a few days ago, I'm scrambling, trying to get caught up. But quite frankly, it's almost like you're talking to somebody that has been on another planet for almost another month, because as far as I went, about 1,200 miles into the mountains, there was no Wi-Fi. There was no internet, John. So basically, until I crossed over and settled in southern Texas, I really missed everything. So all the championship changes, all the big pay-per-views, not only the big pay-per-views on, WWE and MLW and of course AEW, but also the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotions. I hear championship belts change hands. I've heard we've had some people retire since I've been gone. So I know somewhere right around the 1 hour mark of the show, we'll have a couple of minutes. And since the CEO won't be able to join us, I want to go ahead and put the word out now. I am encouraging all FED members and main roster members that want to, get something off their chest. We'll give you a minute to a minute and a half if you want to jump on. We would love to have you for that little segment, the FWWC segment, right after the midway part of the show. I think it'd be a great way to welcome myself back, because bro, for me, if it ain't regular wrestling, if it ain't WWE, AEW, all those stuff, dude, what I'm paying the most attention to, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC.
That's right.
Yes. A month apart, and we still got it, baby. I love it.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, here on Wrestle Talk, we continue to try to make strides, and we have had a few requests, so we are trying to accommodate. So we are actually, tonight is the first night we are testing a new Twitch platform for the Wrestle Talk podcast. So if you're on Twitch, look for Wrestle Talk Cast.
Love that.
And we will be there. We are, like I say, tonight is the first night we are broadcasting live to Twitch. So, we just continue making strides to make this program better and better as we go. And it's all because of you, the fans, and because of our great and wonderful sponsors, because we absolutely could not do this without them. So, Night Out, you have been gone for a little while, so I want to give you the honor of hitting our sponsors, since this is the first time since you're back. So go ahead and hit those sponsors.
I'll be happy to do that. And in the meantime, if you want to shoot my guy Assad or anybody else that wants to come on during the show, whether it be during High Spots, during the FWWC segment, just shoot us a message right here in the comments, just like this here, and we will get you the link so that you can join us. Just make sure you got a good connection and that you're not in a noisy room. That's all we ask. Let's make it look good, guys, if we can. All right, now on to more important things. Our wonderful sponsors. Let me go ahead and take single screen here. By the way, guys, it's so awesome to be back. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. Let me start off with, and you guys saw this just a minute ago, I know we are no longer selling these, but we do have the Wrestle Talk Podcast Tumbler. So if you guys are interested in the Wrestle Talk Podcast Tumbler, you already know, Little Popeye Designs. And, of course, Royal Mills Transportation, Nobleman's Barber Lounge, Kincaid Arcade at the Old Park Mall. Shout out to them on Retrocade that just took place this past weekend. Huge success. Our awesome friends over at Interstate 70 Sports Media. And, of course, the aforementioned world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. By the way, both the mug and the tumbler, scientifically proven to make anything you put in it taste 17.5% better. Don't worry about doing the science. We already did it for you. That's it. Are we good? Did I hit the spots? Pause.
That's right.
That's right. I love it, man. And you know what? I need a favor though. There is one other thing, and I know we did it. Is that my mic rumbling or your mic rumbling? Whose mic is that rumbling?
It is probably mine, because
you got a hurricane in your house? What the hell's going on, bud?
It is about 90 degrees here in the garage, so
I got a fan going.
I've got two fans and an AC unit going, so
Okay, and you got a black shirt on. Real smart, big guy. I like that.
Just about everything I own is black, dude.
Okay, that's fair. You are a Raider fan. I just got to hear this one more time. Yeah, that's right. I got to hear this just one more time. Really feel like I'm back, and I'm the idiot that decided to wear a sports jacket. Hopefully somebody appreciates it. Hopefully you appreciate it. Thank you for commenting. Hopefully it's just I'm trying to get my sports center on. You see what I'm saying? Got to make it look fresh up here.
But you know, here lately we have been just starting out with this way too much lately, and unfortunately we have to start out on a sad note again.
Well, what's going on?
Let's see here. As I'm sure most of you have heard by now, Sid Udi, Psycho Sid, passed away yesterday. So, you know, we want to send our condolences to the family of Psycho Sid. You know, it's always a sad thing when we lose anybody in the wrestling world. And, you know, we all know the sacrifices he's made and, you know, the strides that the wrestling world has come. So we want to thank him and honor him. So let's give him a 10-bell salute. May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace indeed. And I will tell you two things, John. Number one, you know, this is what happens when you're gone and you're missing the news. Sounds like I'm a little late to this news. Incredibly unfortunate to lose another significant member of the best era in professional wrestling. Some would argue that Sid Vicious maybe wasn't necessarily Attitude Era. I would, you know, object to that completely. I think he was right in the thick of it. Maybe not towards the end. I know it was a little short-lived or whatever, but clearly one of the most intimidating, menacing people to ever step foot inside the square circle. And I will share a personal anecdote. We actually were in the middle of negotiations with Sid Justice joining us on the show some time back. His health leading into that interview took a turn for the worse, and we weren't able to make the interview happen. That's always one that kind of sat in the back of my mind because I know maybe he wasn't my favorite wrestler or your favorite wrestler growing up, but he was definitely somebody that you knew about and that you respected. So whenever you get an opportunity or even get close to bringing on a guy like that, it kind of makes you feel a little good about yourself. You say to yourself, you're like, wow, you know, how is someone like this even entertaining the idea of coming on a little wrestling podcast based out of the Midwest / the Eastern Panhandle like this? But he contemplated. And again, due to his health, he wasn't able to attend. And that interview never took place. But the fact that we were knocking on the door, it made me feel special. It made me feel like, okay, we're definitely doing something right if guys like this are taking interest in what we're doing. So I guess it goes without saying, God bless him. God rest his soul. Blessings to his entire family, all of his fans that are suffering due to the loss of the pro wrestling community as a whole. I know that I'll always garner some awesome memories, you know, of him standing across the ring from The Undertaker and other awesome guys like that. Just an incredible dude, a guy that I think was made for professional wrestling. Just one of those looks that you never forget. And, you know, to me, outside of the Stone Cold stare is what I'm going to call it. You know, the beady eyes that Stone Cold has. I don't know if there's been anybody in wrestling. Maybe Piper. Piper had those beady, kind of crazy, I'm about to turn this shit down, burn this shit down kind of eyes. You know, Jake the Snake, another guy. I would put Sid right in that top 5 of like the guys who had that look that if you saw him and he made eye contact with you, you might be the first to blink. He just had that kind of persona, that kind of look to him. And you could tell that Sid went through a lot, John. I mean, it's well documented, some of the struggles that he had, as did many people of that era, whether it be with pain medication, alcohol, or what have you. So I'm glad he was with us as long as he was. And like I said, I always garner a little bit of a special place in my memory book for the great Sid Vicious, aka Psycho Sid.
Yeah, definitely. And it like I say, no matter what, no matter whether it's a local wrestler or somebody who is in the ring now or somebody who was in the ring 20 years ago, it's always sad, when you see a loss, and it's always felt across the whole wrestling nation. So,
Well, I will say this.
thoughts
I'll
and
only add this, John, because I think you said it well. I think that's why we're so big here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Now, I know occasionally you guys will see us like share a GoFundMe and stuff like that. We usually don't do that because we don't want to lead you guys astray unless it's somebody we know very, very well and that we can kind of vouch for. For the most part, when you see us promoting anything like that, it's usually like CAC, Cauliflower Alley Club, a very reputable, long-term, 50, 60-year organization. And part of what they do with the membership money is it goes back to helping guys like Abdullah and Sid and Roddy and these guys that ended up kind of having some really bad physical ailments to the end. I know the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion just took place a couple of weeks ago. Again, while I was on the other side of the earth, I missed all the cool stuff, though I did have a lot of fun. I wouldn't take it back, but I'm just saying CAC was another one of those things that I would have loved to come in and talk about. And I've got some friends that went, so maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll have some guys come on and they'll talk to us about their experience. But yeah, that's why we support organizations like the CAC, John, because they always find a way amongst all the fun and the rubbing with the elbows with the legends and stuff like that to take care of the guys who maybe didn't earn enough to take care of themselves post in-ring career. So shout out to the CAC. And again, nothing but sympathy and love and prayers and thoughts and all that jazz to the family of Psycho Sid.
But you know what? We always hate to start out with something like this, but occasionally we have to. But, it's time we bring this show back on the rails because it is time for something that I guarantee you have missed.
All right.
Because it is time that we pay homage to the best damn country around.
I knew this was
being America.
America.
So if you place your hands over your hearts, remove your hats as we play the national anthem.
Happy Labor Day, y'all. She said no. No. Through the pear. We're so gallantly street. Couldn't do that one. Couldn't do that with that. Brings a tear to my eye and blood to my ears.
Every time.
Every single time.
Right.
And guess what? I have a little bit of breaking news.
Oh.
Let's see if we can find the breaking news sounder, because I do have a little breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, and it is concerning episode 500. Let's go ahead and cue that up. I want to share the news with you all. Don't worry, Susie. We're going to cue that migraine. By the way, the fan I've got going is making this flag wave, and it's so awesome. Look at it. America, bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. All right, listen. So here's the breaking news. You guys know that we are doing a lot. Well, maybe, hold on. You may not know this. We will be doing a live edition of the Wrestle Talk podcast for episode 500. Now, there's a couple of reasons we're doing it live, because that's what we always do. But here's the real huge news. I have it on good authority that one of the founders of the Wrestle Talk podcast, who's not been seen on these airwaves in a very, very long time, will be a part in some capacity of episode 500. John, believe it or not, it took a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, and even a few smoke signals. I believe that we've gotten confirmation that the one and only Joe Nightmare Jones will be making an appearance for episode 500 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. That should be pretty exciting for the long-term fans of this show. I know it makes me excited.
Yeah, definitely. And I've talked to him several times. He's been talking to me about it, and I told him, hey, get in touch with Night Owl. And then next thing you know, I hear he'd been talking with Luke, and I know he had been in touch with you, and so looking forwards to seeing him back on the airways once again for episode 500. And who knows what can come after that. It's hard to tell. Maybe if he really gets to sit down and chat with you a little more, he could possibly come back. You never know. But, that would be a little ways down the line, I think. So,
well, no doubt about it. And Joe knows, if you want to jump back on this train, that's fine. You just got to be able to keep up, simply because the lineup of guests and hosts that we have now, from Gabriel Arsene to occasionally Jeremy Karp to Luke Skywalker Roberts, and of course you, John. I mean, we have a murderer's row of hosts. It doesn't matter what week it is or who's hosting. We've got an incredible show for you guys every single week. I mean, just think about it, right? And I don't want to keep going on and on about episode 500, but let's just say episode 500 times 2.5 hours. We've got well over 1,200 hours of content with interviews with basically everybody under the sun in the world of professional wrestling. I mean, it's kind of incredible. 1,200 hours of content, John. And I know we're still going back into Blog Talk and pulling some of that old stuff. It's freaking... I found a Glacier interview, bro. I found an interview with Glacier from back in the day on there.
I was going to say, trust me, I know. I've got this terabyte hard drive, and I'm filling it up quick with episodes, let me tell you. And I've been going back through them, and some of the names you see, I mean, we had L.A. Knight back when he was Eli Drake. We've had Swerve Strickland on. We have had
Savio Vega.
Savio Vega. We have had the who's who of the wrestling world. So it is
Damian Priest.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, we could go on and on, but we don't want to brag. Hey, listen, I also want to repeat this. I love everything that we're seeing in the comment section. Let's keep that going. Please remember to hit the like. Please remember to hit the heart. Please remember to share. I mean, any of that stuff is super helpful to us. But here's what's more important. Like, if you guys don't feel like doing any of that shit, it's cool. If you want to come on and talk wrestling with us, we will send you the link now during High Spots. We can talk all kinds of regular wrestling, or during the FWC segment. If you guys want to come on and chat, then that's cool too. All you got to do is just drop a comment here live, or shoot either one of us a direct message, and we will get you on. Because above the hearts and the likes and all that, what we really enjoy is the engagement directly with the audience. And if we can have you guys come on here and argue with us about some of the topics or what have you, that's a-okay with me. I love all of it.
And Assad, I have sent you the link, so if you want to come on like during the High Spots, that's fine. It will be up to Night Owl if you come on during FWWC, because I think you're still...
Yeah, that can't happen right now. And if your objective is to come on here to complain about being suspended from the FWWC, you're talking to the wrong guys. The guy you need to talk to is El Mata, and he hasn't been seen in months. So you might have to go find the dude, because I really don't know what the hell's going on there. But I will inquire for you, Luchador, because you are a long-time tenured member of the FWWC. So I will go out of my way to figure out what the hell's going on with your situation, and I'll get back to you. But if you want to come on and talk wrestling, bro, you're more than welcome. You know that every day.
But you know what, Night Owl? It's great catching up with you. And
Okay.
you know, if they want to catch the stories of the Night Owl's vacation, I believe they can catch that on another podcast. You know, Stories from the Road with the Night Owl.
Yeah, that's right.
And, and so, but we are already about half hour into this show, and we have not even started on our first segment yet. So it is time that we cue up that music.
Let's do it, baby. DJ Money, you know what to do.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like player chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop, and non-stop like a running speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops, like a clock flash, look like a barely flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast, now they know we about to start the show.
I want to say this real quick, bro. Shout out to Gavin Jackson for this beautiful artwork. I do wish, and this is not a shot at anybody, that promoters put this much time and energy into providing pictures and text and all that. Like, this is actually the first time, the second time in nearly 500 episodes that the guest has been like, let me help you out with the poster. And it's actually dope as hell. So shout out. Gavin is going to be joining us in just a little bit, but I want to make sure he knows, man, shout out. He did an outstanding job. This is one of the coolest posters I've seen, because usually we just have like one guy on the poster. Now we've got a face-to-face. You guys see it. And Clay Jacobs is going to be joining us just a little bit. Zakar may be joining us as well. We'll see. John, I know you've got all the tea on this information, but bro, incredible job on the poster. Shout out to Gavin for putting that together for us. That was outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it looks great, and just thank you to him for that. And, you know, just really looking forward to this. Like I say, it's something you're not going to want to miss. It's definitely going to be exciting. So
let's do it, John. Let's roll.
All right, so let's go ahead and see how that randomizer is working tonight with you back here, buddy.
You know how I do. Mess it up.
Now, see, it worked fine the whole time you were gone, and now that you're
you
back,
guys leave it. Y'all leave it on repeat. It's scared of me, bro. Ooh, that's man, KO.
KO. So we're going to start out with some Kevin Owens here. So the question is, with approximately 6 months remaining on his WWE contract, the big question looms. Will KO sign a new deal or take his talent elsewhere? Wow, that's a tough one. I really hope that they do tend to work something out with Kevin Owens. You know, I know it was about 3 months ago. He said he had 9 months left on his deal. And it was just yesterday that I saw where he's come out now and said, you know, the update is there is no update. They still have not made any progress on it. And there is nothing currently in the works. So I hope that, you know, I know they're going to Netflix come January, and you figure another 6 months, that puts it around February that his contract would be up. So maybe they're waiting until they switch over to Netflix and everything gets all moved around and everything to really make a push for the superstars that they want to re-sign, because I believe there's a few of them that need contracts. But I'm hoping that's the case, that, come the first of the year, they're really going to make a push and they're going to re-sign him, because I really think that it would be a loss to WWE if KO goes anywhere. But I want to see him stay. I really do. So, Night Owl, your thoughts?
Well, you know what, John? I think that I appreciate your optimism, but I'm going to have to sprinkle in a little realism here. I want to point to, and this may be a high spots topic, I think I saw it thrown out there. I want to point to Ricochet. His departure from the WWE was, I would say, it wasn't quite ceremonial. He was getting bashed and destroyed and put through cars, like a rag doll. Let me get my thoughts together here. I feel like they're starting to see the writing on the wall. Let me throw out a few more names. Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. See, these were the guys that were supposed to help bridge the gap. But guys like Gunther, guys like Damian Priest, guys like Braun Breaker, they're breaking through, I think, a little bit quicker than what the WWE developmental expected. So this period of time that was supposed to be, in my opinion, KO's time, Sami Zayn's time, Finn Balor's time, has now been overshadowed. Let me give you an example from another sport, okay? People talk about who the greatest basketball player of all time is. And these days, even if you're not a basketball fan, there's a few names you're going to hear pretty commonly. Usually the first two you're going to hear are Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Now, for those of us that were alive from the Jordan era all the way till almost the end of the LeBron era, we all tend to feel the same way. And here's how we feel. What about Kobe? How are we skipping over Kobe when we're talking about the greatest of all time, especially, like, just to say, since 1980? Well, what happens is, and I'll try to kind of piece this all together, the time at the top was so short for Kobe Bryant that you almost forget about him, because Jordan was on top for 10, 15 or so, and LeBron's been on top for 10 or 15 or so, right? Winning championships, being in championship competition. Well, Kobe's prime was between Jordan and Kobe, and then that space, like right after Jordan left and right before LeBron really became LeBron, was his time. But that was only like a 4-year window. And so I say all that to bring it back to Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor. I think that their window to be at the top was during COVID. And because COVID was so odd, we had Drew McIntyre as the champion in front of a bunch of video screens, which is really hard to watch. So I hate to say this, but when you see the success of Jericho, when you see the success of Brian Cage, and most recently, hopefully we get a chance to talk about this, of Bryan Danielson elsewhere as a Kevin Owens, knowing, hey, they're probably not going to put the championship on me, and if they do, it's going to be short-lived. Maybe it's time to make that move. I'm not saying that it would be good for the WWE, but it may be what's best for Kevin. Because, John, and I'll bring you back in here, do you think that the window for those guys, let me just use those three guys, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, has the window for them to be the top guy completely closed or just about closed? Because any other answer than that, I think, is disingenuous. And I love those guys, particularly Kevin Owens. But are you okay with being in the Intercontinental Championship picture for the entirety of your career, of whatever's left of their careers? I don't know if I would want to do that. That's where they were trying to relegate Mercedes Moné. She wasn't having it. That's what they were trying to do with Toni Storm. She wasn't having it. And look how all these people have gone on to flourish. And I'm not saying everybody's got to go to AEW, bro. Some of these guys, like Mox, he went to New Japan Pro Wrestling for a couple of years. And, so I know that was a little long-winded, but I'm going to be honest. If I was KO and money isn't an object, because Tony's got a lot of money, Triple H got a lot of money, but I'm thinking, okay, how do I want to finish my career? And you watch Daniel Bryan just a couple of nights ago, and I go, yeah, I want to finish my career like that, even if I make a little bit less money. Now, KO isn't championship material. He's a good as a heel champ, but there's only so many times you can make it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna put the belt on him again, it's gonna be short-lived. And it's definitely gonna be a heel run as a championship, not a babyface run. Because he's like the ultimate tweener. So you can't ever get enough buy-in for him as a bad guy, and you can never really get enough buy for him, especially as a good guy. So here come the long-winded answers. The Night Owl's back. But hopefully that explains things. It was just their window, like the Kobe Bryant window, was so short that you kind of almost tend to forget. And it's a shame, too, because what happened to Finn with the injury, when they introduced the red belt and all this, it's kind of unfortunate. But, that's part of the reason you get a 3-year reign from Roman Reigns, because you're like, well, who else? Who else? You know what I mean? And they're expecting a lot of their top guys right now. So for those guys to get back up to that level, I just, like Will said, I just don't see it happening. It's just not their time anymore. Not their time.
Yeah, and I can understand that from that aspect. I don't see him taking a title from Cody Rhodes. Taking a title from Gunther is probably not realistic. So yeah, that their window probably has just about closed.
The question is, how do you want to go out?
Yeah.
You want to go out like Ricochet, where they're beating your ass until the last day because they know you're going to go with the competition? The Bret Hart treatment, so to speak. I hate to bring that guy back up, but or are you going to kind of do it on your own terms, bro, and be like, you know what, I want a badass ending to my career, like what Daniel Bryan's getting right now, which him and Swerve, by the way, I didn't get a chance to see every second of the match, but damn, bro, just the bits I saw, like the emotion, the passion, like you could tell that those guys would have done that match for free. That's how freaking amazing the chemistry was and the history they both have from being in Seattle and this and that and the other thing. Bro, like, if I was going to end my career, I'll take a little bit less money so that I can end my career on my terms. And I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, and you definitely want to end your career on your terms. I can understand that. And, some people, though, and not saying KO is one of them, but some people, they are okay in the mid-card ranks. And, so some of them would be just fine in the IC picture or the United States picture. But I do believe that you're probably right, Night Owl. Their window for the top titles probably has pretty well closed. So it's all a matter of, what do they want to settle for? Do they want bigger and better things, or are they okay where they're at?
Well, and I'll take a page out of the book of my business partner and co-owner of the FWWC, DeJuan Mills. He said to me once, we were booking a guy, and the guy was building his entire comeback around a particular championship, and he ended up not winning that championship. So I look at Kevin Owens, and I remember that not too long ago, he was using the moniker the Prize Fighter. So unless you want to do the CM Punk thing where you're fighting over a bracelet with Drew McIntyre, or you want to do the thing with Roman and Solo Sikoa where they're fighting over like the big necklace thing, forgot what it's called. I know it's not a lei, but whatever the hell that thing's called. He's going to end up having to have feuds like that, because the idea, again, like you said, of him dethroning Gunther, dethroning Cody, dethroning Roman, because that belt's going to end up back there eventually. It's just not going to happen, bro. It shouldn't happen. It just doesn't make sense because their window has closed, at least in that respect. But if you call yourself the prize fighter, I don't know if you want to go out, competing for the United States Championship, if that belt even exists anymore. I don't think it does, but Oh, it does. It does. The U.S. belt.
Yeah,
LA Knight.
LA Knight's got it.
Right.
But you know, sometimes with monikers, you can still make them work, even when you're not going the direction that you hoped it would. I mean, it even though it's FWWC, I mean, you look at my character. I mean, for the past 7 years, I've been hardcore Haas, but in that 7 years, I've held the hardcore title twice. But you know, it's still the hardcore has stuck throughout that whole 7 years. That's a little bit different than being called the prize fighter. Now, I will say that, you know,
I get the correlation though. I get what you're saying. But
fair. You know, I've been able to make that work, even though it's basically been around the hardcore title and the hardcore stuff. But even though I wasn't holding that title and other people were, and I've lost that title several times. Not recently, of course, you know, longest reigning, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, listen, as a promoter, I'll only say this. You look great with that championship. You've done an outstanding job, but the money is in the pursuit. So whoever decides to challenge you next, hopefully that person has got their head in the right place. That's where the money's at, though.
So, but, yep. So, do we think we've beaten this one enough? Or
I think so. But listen, before we move on to the next topic, I do want to remind everybody that we did call this show Berkley Mania 7 for a reason. So just a matter of moments, about 10 minutes or so, we're going to be bringing on a couple of guests, maybe a little bit longer than that, if I'm not mistaken on the time. But either way, the second hour, we're going to cover it in depth. Before we do, John, you want to just shoot over some preliminary information on Berkley Mania? When is the event? Where is it taking place? And just quickly, why should people attend?
Well, you know, I don't want to steal too much of the thunder from Gavin.
Just the basics.
Because he's going to be coming in. But, you know, this Saturday is going to be Berkley Mania 7, going to be taking place at the Berkeley County Youth Fairgrounds. And the headbangers are going to be on hand for this. So, you know, you get a chance to meet the WWE headbangers. And Doug Rafferty, who we had on here a couple weeks ago, he's being inducted into the WDWA Hall of Fame. So, you know, that you got that to look forward to, as well as a very stacked card. And like I say, I don't want to go too much into the card because Gavin's going to come in and kind of talk about the card a little bit before we bring on Clay and possibly Zakar. If he pops in here, we'll be bringing him in from their main event. But it's definitely going to be a stacked card. I believe they're going to start I believe it's 4:30. Actually, I do have.
And we can get into more of the details when Gavin comes on. So don't. Oh,
right.
There it is. Perfect. I like that.
But yeah, there's the overview poster, and so definitely.
Oh, there's a QR code here too, guys. So don't hesitate to kind of take a screenshot of that thing and use that to get all the detailed information in case we happen to misspeak or whatever, because, you know, we're humans and we mess up. But long story short, looks like, well, again, incredible poster. It's going to be an incredible event. And here shortly, we're going to get into it in depth. So shout out to WDWA.
So, yep, definitely. So, like I say, I want to go ahead and I'll let Gavin, when he comes in here a little bit later, tell you about the rest of it and everything, and make sure that we have everything right. But it's definitely going to be an event that you're not going to want to miss, and it's just going to be jam-packed with action. And Wrestle Talk Podcast is going to be on hand there. You know, I'll have plenty of pictures, as I always do, and posting them on the page. But if you're in the area, definitely something worth checking out.
By the way, folks have really been digging all the stuff that you've been shooting out from some of these shows. Now that I'm back, hopefully I'll be getting out a couple of shows over the next couple of months, and I'll be doing the same here for our local area. So, John, thank you for always providing that outstanding content, no matter what promotion you go to, man. Appreciate it.
So, It's always a pleasure, and it's a lot of fun. So, all right, well, shall we hit that randomizer again and see what we can get here and see if we can't get another?
But hey, before you do, you want to see something funny? You know what I'm dealing with over here? And luckily, I have one of these cameras that can move. Let me show you what I'm like. I'm sitting here trying to do the show and have a good time. Look what I got. Look what I'm dealing with. She's just standing there listening to the show, and I don't know why she doesn't usually do this. I think she's really digging today's show, bro. She's literally just sitting there chilling. And I'm kind of looking over, like, what do you want? And she's like, no, nothing. I'm just kind of, look, she won't even make eye contact. My dog is out of her mind, bro. I'm sorry about that.
She is just excited for today's show. That's all.
Yeah,
just as each and every one of us should be.
She's like, Dad, it's been a couple of weeks since I heard you yell like a maniac into a screen. So now we're back. Here we are. I love my dog. Her name is Katana. She's a 6-year-old blue nose pit. She's wonderful.
Yeah, our dog is out in the other room, so he doesn't get out here very much. So
yeah, well, it's 90 degrees in there. Please don't. Yo, Snitch is here. What's happening? Appreciate the kind words. I think they think Kiki's cute. She's adorable. There we go. Yeah, she went on vacation with. Yeah, listen, I've been dropping videos on my personal page. So if you guys want to know about the vacation, check out my Facebook page and my it's on YouTube and it's on my X account as well. So and it's Katana, Katana, like the Japanese samurai sword. So
and shout out to the Snitch. If Joe doesn't start repping that Snitch shirt soon, I know it won't fit.
He needs to wear that for 500.
I'm gonna have to get it and put it back here on my wall if he doesn't start wearing it soon.
Yeah, the question is, what are you gonna take down to make room for it? That's the real question.
Oh, trust me, I'll make room for it. As a matter of fact,
maybe you could just wear it.
Updates coming.
Okay, I like it. Let's go, John. Always striving to get better. I dig it. By the way, I want to say again, thank you. We've had a consistent double-digit audience since the very beginning of the show, and that's just what I can see from Facebook, for my folks over on the YouTube and on the X platform, and the brand new Twitch platform that John helped kind of spearhead. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button. And I don't know, I'm feeling generous, bro. I got a bunch of dope merch. I got some championships, a couple of books, some unopened action figures. So if y'all bring the energy tonight, baby, I might just give y'all some stuff for nothing. Just for being here and putting up with us for a little while. That's how we do, man. For the family.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and hit that randomizer before we break it again,
You break it again.
All right, and the next poster, the one and only Ric Flair. So he is living his best life outside of wrestling. Has his eccentric behavior changed how you view this legend? Why don't you go ahead and kick this one off, Night Owl, since I kicked off the last one?
All I want to know is who picked this picture. Can we go back to the picture real quick? That's such a good picture. Who did this? Woo. Wow. Whoever picked that picture is a maniac. That dude needs to seek therapy. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you this. Ric Flair comes from an era that I don't think people born after the year 2000 would understand. Matter of fact, maybe people born after 1995. It's just a different time, bro. Where you could smoke in airplanes and shit. It wasn't a big deal. And I think it's awesome of him to have tried to clean it up enough when he came back to the, when he's a little bit older and stuff like that after TNA. He tried to clean it up enough, but this is nature. This is the nature boy. This is the limousine. This is, kissing your girlfriend. This is what it is. It's hanging out with celebrities, smoking a little dope, drinking a little wine. That's the persona. And the fact that he was able to clean it up enough to make it passable on television for a while, I think is admirable. But anybody, when you're talking to Rusty Rex or you're talking to Patrick Brandmeier or Luke Skywalker, these guys that like know wrestling, bro, everybody knows what the Nate is all about, bro. It's just one of those things where folks who are grown enough to understand know exactly that this is who Ric Flair's always been. I think what's interesting is watching this new generation look at a guy that they probably perceive to be as a square, and now there's songs being made of him. Here's what you don't know. So in that picture of Mike Tyson, with him and Mike Tyson lighting up that, lighting up the spliff or whatever, Ric Flair is actually rapping the words to a song that was made about him. It's called Ric Flair Drip. Y'all can look it up. Very, very popular song. Topped the charts a few years ago. Everybody knows it. Even if you're not into that kind of music, you know the Ric Flair Drip. So the fact that he's embracing it, and now that we're in this world of just, was it Cat Williams said it at the beginning of the year, 2024 is going to be the year of the truth. And we're starting now to really see. And personally, I embrace it, bro. As a 40-year-old wrestling fan, I think this is awesome. Now, is this who I'm going to turn my nephew onto, my young nephew, Goyo, that's just getting into wrestling? No, I'm going to point him towards Ricochet and toward, guys like that or whatever. But for me, bro, hell yeah. I love that we can actually get the full Ric Flair that existed for so many fans back in the 80s and early 90s, bro. I'm happy that we get to see that Ric Flair now. We just don't get to see it on TV. We just have to check social media and see Ric Flair smoking a fat doobie. Put that picture up one more time. Ric Flair smoking a fat doobie with Mike Tyson. It looks like they're out in the middle of the street somewhere, too. It doesn't look like they're in a nightclub or anything. So this is 2024, folks. You see it right here on your screen. Mike Tyson and Ric Flair getting down. And I think it's awesome because this is who Ric Flair's always been. And I think it's awesome for the entirety of the pro wrestling community, with the exception of kids, of course, to see it for what it really is, man. I think it's awesome.
You mentioned the song Ric Flair Drip. And an interesting fact about that song is if you actually go back and you watch the video to that, the mansion that video was shot at, there you actually see at one point they're in a red room. That red room, if you go back and look in country music history, there's a picture that used to be a well-known picture of Kenny Rogers in a red room. And that's because that video was actually shot in an abandoned, well, it wasn't abandoned at the time, but it's since been abandoned, mansion that was owned at one point by Kenny Rogers.
Okay, so I'm trying to process this. That's freaking iconic. That's huge. Going all the way back to Kenny Rogers, bro. That's pretty dope. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video. That I did not know. John, you were surprising the hell out of me tonight. I don't know where you pulling these facts out of your butt from, but that's pretty good, man. That is pretty good. So it's a historic place that they were in where they recorded the video. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's actually a YouTube video since the place has been abandoned where they take you through it, and they actually mention the Ric Flair Drip. And
this is where it was filmed,
and that so it was sick. Filmed there, and of course they tell you that it was Kenny Rogers' mansion and everything. And
Kenny
the video,
freaking Rogers.
That's the only reason I know
it. And I love Kenny Rogers. His country's a little bit too slow for me, but I think he's a very talented guy either way. But Seth effing Rollins, Kenny effing Rogers.
But yeah, definitely. In my opinion, no, it doesn't hurt his image at all because
he's into it.
Exactly. That's Ric Flair's image. That's who he is. He's always been eccentric. So now, if you saw him doing something absolutely boring or something that just anybody could do, then hey, it wouldn't be Ric Flair. So,
yeah, I mean, and let's just be honest, John. I hate to cut you off again, but dude, his last match did more to tarnish his legacy than any YouTube clip or Instagram photo. I mean, come on, bro. That shit he was doing at the end there at the NWA show. Was it the NWA show? I forgot where he did. That shit was bad. So if that didn't ruin it, a joint certainly isn't going to ruin it. So shout out to Rick again. And I like how this question was phrased. Living his best life, bro. He's like, my man's almost 80 years old, bro. Let that man live, bro. Let that man live. You know what I mean? Shout out our seat. Hey, it's the Warriors Heart champ. What's happening, baby? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in. All right, John, we've reached just past the halfway point in the show. We got a lot of things to still do. I'm going to let you kind of guide me here since I'm just now getting back. You know, I was on the other side of the world. Oh, that's right. The Jim Crockett Promotions reunion. Thank you. I was thinking it was NWA for some reason, but it wasn't obvious. Thank you, Assad. I appreciate that very much. What do you want to do, John?
Since we are here at the halfway point, let's go ahead and let's hit those sponsors one more time.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, before we do that, though, great note by Dashing Donnie Diablo. Donnie, always great to hear from you, buddy. La Familia for life, baby. You already know. His cannabis line is also called Ric Flair Drip. The more you know, folks. You guys seem to be experts on that. Go ahead, Hoss.
So, as always, we want to thank our great sponsors. We wouldn't be here without them, and we wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you for tuning in, no matter whether you're tuning in live or on the replay. Be sure to share it and smash that like button and even send us some stars if you want to. But we want to thank all of our great sponsors. Royal Mills Transportation, the one and only DeJuan Mills with all your transportation needs out there in the Kansas City area. Nobleman's Barber Lounge, KCMO. Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall. Interstate 70 Sports Media. That's Jeremy Karp and the guys over there absolutely killing it. Just had episode 100. Then we have Little Popeyes Designs, where you get your very own Wrestle Talk podcast tumbler. I believe it's $20, and get your name on it for another $5 plus shipping. And the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. Thank you to all of them for supporting us, because we can't do what we do without them and without you guys. So thank you so much for that. And, without all of them, we sure wouldn't be headed in the direction that we're headed. And you may be asking, what direction is that you're headed? Well, feast your eyes on this once again. Episode 500 is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Just, about 3 weeks away if you include this episode right here. And Night Owl, I am just so excited, and I know you've got to be excited for that too.
Oh, dude, it's going to be exceptional. I announced a little bit earlier that it is going to be a live show, just like most of our shows are. We're going to be releasing cool stuff like that leading in. We've actually got a teaser that one of the talent out there, I don't want to give it away, even any clues, but the wrestling community is embracing our path to episode 500. Also, I mentioned earlier, if you missed the breaking news, one of the founders of the Wrestle Talk podcast, guy that was here from episode number 1, believe it or not, I was not here for episode 1. The one and only Joe Nightmare Jones scheduled to appear for episode 500 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. So before we move on, actually a couple great comments here. What's up? Woo! Everybody's excited. Love to hear that. There's one just quick comment that I wanted to address. And Will, who's been with us here the entire evening, much love to you, brother. It says his image, it is his image, but it's alienated his friends and family, and his health is horrible. Not worth the effort of keeping that image up anymore. I'm gonna tackle that one very quickly from both angles. Number one, if we started to dissect the personal effects of wrestlers on their families, I think we would find that it's a stretch to think that Ric Flair is the only one that has caused harm to his family, not only because of the drugs and the image, but just the schedule and the travel and all these sorts of things. So when we were talking about Ric Flair and his legacy, I was specifically talking about his legacy as a performer. Many of us have tarnished our legacies due to addiction, whether it be alcoholism or, we talked about some of these things earlier on. But yeah, I was not encompassing any of the personal stuff concerning Rick, because I think that's a little out of bounds for us without knowing all the details. But I will say, and I'll repeat, I think you could pretty much look at anybody and start to tear apart some of their personal decisions. And if that was the case, then I don't know how many people we would be a fan of. Because I remember, just briefly here, when John Cena was doing that reality show with Nikki Bella. You remember that? You remember that? Like they were kind of like teasing to get married or whatever. Bro, up until then, everyone thought John Cena was a nice guy. And then you started to see kind of how he treated Nicole and kind of how like OCD he was and shit like that. You couldn't wear this in his house and you couldn't touch that in his house. And I was like, bro, this is making me not like John Cena. This guy's a prick. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, for me, at least when we were talking about Ric Flair, I did not include on any level his personal stuff. I was exclusively talking about him as an in-ring and a performer and as an entertainer in professional wrestling. Because, like I said, we can nitpick anybody's personal life and find some bullshit, probably mine too. So, Anyway, are we ready to move on, John? I just want to make sure I didn't leave that stone unturned.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's like you said, you can nitpick anybody's personal life, and when you start looking at people's personal life, and you start saying, well, I don't like the fact they do this, I don't like the fact they do that, that's when it really starts to hurt the business itself. And so, when it comes to the wrestling business, you got to keep the personal separate from the professional.
Yeah, if that was the case, I don't think Hulk Hogan would have one fan on this entire planet.
Exactly.
And we don't need to get into Hulk Hogan. I personally don't think he's a full-blown racist. I think he just said some racist shit. And that's different because I've known both kinds. I know people who say racist shit sometimes, and that comes in all shapes and colors. And then I know some people that are like full-blown fucking racist. Like, no, I don't want to sit next to this person on the bus. I don't want to, there's a difference there. And we don't need to talk about Hulk Hogan because that'll get messy. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a difference there. You know what I mean? And shout out to you, Will. I appreciate it.
He wouldn't be able to charge, $300 an autograph?
He's raking it in still, Indy. He's raking it in, bro. Raking it in. All right. We're at the 8:15 mark Central Time. John, what do we do next, baby?
Well, we didn't have anybody from the FWWC.
No. We had them contributing. They were in the chat the whole time, bro. We're right. Unless they really want to come on, baby, we can move on to the main event. I'm ready.
And we didn't have Big Daddy come in tonight, so
he's on vacation.
That's right. So it looks like we are on to the the main part of our show, the meat and potatoes. And this is where things may get a little bit spicy here in a bit. So, but before we get there, let's go ahead and bring in the man who's going to run down all the information for us on Berkley Mania 7, and the man who helped set this whole thing up. So let's go ahead and bring in the one and only, the owner of the World Domination Wrestling Alliance, Gavin Jackson, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Que pasa, brother? Que pasa?
Hey, brother. What's up, Renee? How you doing?
Happy to be back, bro. I haven't been on these airways in a month, and we haven't had you on a while, bro. So welcome back. Welcome back.
Man, I appreciate you guys always giving me a platform, man. It's funny, you guys just put up the history of Wrestle Talk, and I remember being on about 10, 11 years ago, and I mean, you guys have just always been there to help us promote shows, help promoters promote. You're just good to the wrestling community, man, and just on behalf of everybody, thank you guys for what you guys do.
Well, man, it's always an honor for us to deal with people. And John, you'll definitely take the lead on this, but it's always an honor to deal with people that are passionate and are serious about what they're doing. Because I know some people that are really passionate about things, but they don't take it all that serious, and they may take it seriously, but maybe they're not all that passionate, bro. When you run into somebody that loves this business the way that you do, that's willing to invest in it, not both monetarily, but also with all your time and your dedication. And it's clear, like the evidence speaks for itself, bro. And I hate to be like judgmental, but bro, have you seen some of these wrestling posters circulating out here in 2024? I'm like, dog, there's AI right now. You don't even have to do the hard part yourself anymore. And these dudes are still putting out these bum ass posters. I don't understand.
Brother. It's there's a very thin line between like running a wrestling company, and you're running a business, and then just people that could afford a ring. And it's a huge difference. And ever since taking over since taking over WDWA, it's been nothing but just focusing on the product, not worrying about all the other BS that's going on, just trying to put the product out there, make it look great, and just let it speak for itself, And I will say, ever since I've taken over, I took over in December. I started running shows on my own since January. And I got to say, man, this has been one hell of a year, one hell of a ride, and the road has just led us here to Berkley Mania, which I am super, super, super excited about. As a fan, honestly, I felt like I've been promoting my whole life ever since I had like little wrestling figures, and video games. And I used to do like TNM wrestling. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all. But it's just been a long journey, man, of passion. And I couldn't do it without the fans and without people like yourselves on pushing the product. So thank you guys all. Thank you.
And John, before you jump on in here and take over, I just have one quick question. Gavin, when you came on all those years ago, at that time you were an active in-ring talent. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so just a quick one. So have you been able to detach yourself completely from being an in-ring guy? And if so, how has that transition been? And if not, then is it really that hard to let go? Because to be honest, I don't know how long it's been since you wrestled. I like to be fully transparent about what I know and I don't know. But I imagine you haven't wrestled in a little while, man. How's that feel? Like, do you ever still get that urge and stuff? Or what's that like? I'm curious.
You know what? Like, the urge is always there. I mean, there's nothing like being an in-ring performer. It's a drug that there is no second. Like it. I can't even explain it. Like, there is no high out there bigger than what you get being under those bright lights and having people either cheer or boo you. It's an adrenaline rush. As for being able to switch, I took a break from wrestling right before COVID hit. I had a lot of injuries. I never took any time off until then. And during that time, I kind of fell out of love of wrestling. And it took a little while for me to fall back in love with it. And when I fell back in love with it, it was for different reasons. And I've always had an end goal to become a promoter. And just honestly, when I started coming back, I started taking on a commissioner role. I started helping booking, and then just the doors opened up because the previous promoter, the Latin Tornado, moved to Ohio and decided to sell his company. And I've just been very blessed, man. But yeah, it's not easy to make the transition, but I've had such love and support since I have, and I've had so many people backing me up and telling me I'm doing a good job and things like that, that it's the adrenaline rush I need to keep moving forward.
So then I have to ask this follow-up question. Have you gotten the one more match?
I I constantly get, hey man, like when are you gonna have a match again? You know, now that you can control who goes in that ring and not, I'll never say never. Like it, this business. It's the old cliche. You never say never, but
Right place, right time, maybe?
right place, right time, right story. Never say never. It's very important to me that the guys and gals that I have booked for the show take center stage. I do my very best to not overstep the spotlight. I don't want to be like all these other promoters that book themselves into main events and things like that. I find it very disgusting, that they would even take a spot that people have worked so hard for. But right now, I'll say never say never. It's not even a thought in my mind to even get into the ring. I enjoy what I'm doing. I think everything's going well. One day, yes, but nowhere near future.
Okay, so the door's not closed, is what I'm hearing you say.
It'll never close.
Awesome. All right, yeah. John. I keep saying, give me a minute. And I hog half the interview. My bad about that, bro. Go ahead, jump back in, man. What do you got?
Yeah, you're good. So, Gavin, we were saying earlier about Berkley Mania 7 coming up. Do you want to go ahead and give all the specifics and run down the cards for us? Because I know there's a lot of action on the card, and you have a very stacked card for Berkley Mania.
Absolutely, man. So again, this was my first year as promoter. So I want to put all my cards on the table. I want people to know, what I bring to the table. I want the guys and gals that work for me to know like they are in good hands, and I mean to hold them up on a pedestal. And even though I know 10 matches is a lot of matches, they have all worked so hard, and I'm so very proud of our locker room and everybody on this card and everybody that's not on this card that has been in a WDWA locker room. Everybody has made this show possible. But quick rundown, Berkley Mania 7. We call it Berkley Mania because we are in Berkeley County, West Virginia. It will be this Saturday, August 31st at the Berkeley County Youth Fairgrounds. We're going to open the doors up at 4:50 p.m. and bell time 5:30 p.m. We have a lot to get through, so we wanted to start a little earlier. We are going to start the night off with a 10-man light heavyweight championship match. Now, the way this match is going to work is there will be 2 men in each corner and two men legal, and it'll be an elimination match. What I find so great about this match is Samuel, as you see him in the picture, Samuel Thompson. He has had that light heavyweight championship for over 365 days. He is now currently the longest light heavyweight champion that WDWA has ever had. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Samuel, man, but he is an extraordinary talent. I think all of these guys that are in this match bring something different to the table. But we have in this match, we have Tommy Vex, we have Alex Devine, we have Uranagi, we have Sean Phoenix, we have Kalen Patrick, we have Dexter Alexander III, we have The Freak, we have Just Jay, we have Nikita, and we have Kalen Patrick. I would say Samuel has got this in the bag because he's beaten most of these guys. But when you bring in, the audible about everybody that's in the match, you never know what you're going to get. But this is definitely a match. We're going to start the show off. It's going to be high intensity. It's going to definitely set the pace for the night. Then the next match we're going to have, it's going to be Party McFly versus Eric C. Jones. This is your classic veteran versus rookie, trainer versus trainee. Both of these guys have wrestled each other before, but this is definitely going to be a standout match. Both these guys bring something different to the table, and they're both ready to tear the house down. We're also going to have a triple threat for the Mid-Atlantic Championship. This is sort of a long history in the making. You know, these three guys all teamed up together were once known as the El Diablo Rojo Squad. Through a bunch of bumping heads and stuff like that, all three men has kind of gone their own way. And fortunately for Anton Nathan, the Mid-Atlantic Championship came into play, and now it's just something a little extra to this match. Honestly, this match can go either way. All three of these guys are amazing. Then we're going to go to Rayo versus Shane Malice, the Lightning versus the Steel City Sex Pistol. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Rayo. He's done stuff for WWE. He's done stuff for AEW, Ring of Honor. This guy is amazing. He's probably, if not the only Peruvian wrestler. He is just simply fantastic. But he's stepping in there one-on-one against the most decorated WDWA superstar we have ever had in Shane Malice. He has won countless top championships. He has won countless Holy Grails. He has just done it all. Rayo's here to make a name for himself, and if there's anybody that's going to make a name for him, it's going to be Shane Malice. And then we're going to go right into Supremacy versus Jordan Evans and WWE alumni, former tag team champions, the Headbangers, which I am super thrilled about. I have been a Headbanger fan for years, even before they made it to WWE. I would watch them in Smoky Mountain, everything. In fact, I just got a text from one of them right before I went on the air. I got to get back to him. I remember dressing up like these guys in middle school for Halloween, man. It's a whole the world just turns, man. I can't help it, man. This is just a kid in a candy store kind of match for me. And they're teaming up with Mr. Martinsburg himself, Jordan Evans, who has clawed and scratched his way up and down the card. He was on a huge undefeated streak until Supremacy and Zakar totally took that away from him. So this is nothing but a revenge for him, and with some help from the Headbangers. Now, if any of you guys have seen the tag team champions, Sexy and Blessed, Y-Keys and Chulo, along with Austin Kingsley the Fifth, I mean, these guys have been able to do anything and everything they've wanted in WDWA. With these guys, along with Forte and Zakar, have totally taken over WDWA. So this is a huge match with a lot on the line. We also have Valerie Verman versus Sis Sasaki. These are two women that are incredible, not only on the East Coast, but all the United States that I've seen. Both these girls bring something different to the table, hard-hitting action, exactly what I look for in my talent. I got nothing but positive to say about both these girls. I can't wait for them to square off. We also have Keikoa, the Hawaiian Warrior, versus the Kingpin, DeMarcus Kane. The way I describe this match to people, it's kind of the mega powers explode. I mean, these two are top of their game. Every company they've ever been, they've always worked at the top of the card. Nothing but positive. If you guys have never seen either one of these guys wrestle, if you look up either one of them on YouTube, you'll find a remarkable match. Kingpin DeMarcus Kane is currently Maryland Championship Wrestling's World Heavyweight Champion. He has been WDWA champion. He's held multiple world titles across every promotion he's been in. Same with the Hawaiian Warrior. The Hawaiian Warrior, Keikoa, he has his own training facility down in Orlando. He's got over 150 students. The guy is he eats, sleeps, and shits wrestling. I mean, this guy is just, he has it all. WWE actually reaches out to Keikoa and has him train some of their guys. I mean, both of these guys, to me, like, hands down, if anybody gets up to use the bathroom or get concessions during this match, it's going to be ridiculous.
Well, I just want to jump in real quick and say something. Those that don't know, this could easily be the main event of any show around the country. And just look these guys up. I mean, Gavin's job is to promote. but you guys know here at the Wrestle Talk Podcast, we're completely unbiased. Any other promotion would be lucky to have either one of these guys in their promotion, let alone both of them competing against each other. That just goes to tell you how big Berkley Mania 7 is going to be. Gavin, please continue. I just want to make sure people know that. That's a huge deal.
And we've also had both of these gentlemen on the Wrestle Talk podcast before, as well as several other people that he's brought up have also been on Wrestle Talk podcast.
Okay,
So
basically one person from each poster. Yeah, basically one person from each poster has been on the show previously. So that's something we're proud of, including Clay Jacobs, who may be joining us here in just a couple of moments. So exciting stuff. Go ahead, continue, please.
Another marquee match that's over a year in the making. It's going to be a tag team tornado match, and at all four corners, there'll be a pole with a weapon on it. This will be the team of Misuse versus the team of Sweet Elite. So you got Sean Cannon and Jimmy Stars versus the Cake Boss Victor Jones and Charles Everest Osgood. Both of these teams are former tag team champions. Both of them are incredible. Both of them bring so much to the table. Both of them, this match could go either way. You just add the variables of weapons in the match. It's going to be complete chaos. I cannot wait to see what happens during this match. Then we want to go to our pre-main event, which is a special referee 3-on-3 match. The former WDWA owner, the Latin Tornado, he is coming back for one time only to hold down the fort, man, with all this different pandemonium going on. So we got the father figures and Kid are going against Money and Power and JTR. If anybody has checked out this storyline, it has been incredible. Things have gotten so personal, and I mean, this is going to be a fight. I don't even throw wrestling in this match at all. It's going to be a fight. Somebody's getting hurt, and I just can't wait to see how this all turns out. And then finally, last but not least, with an incredible story leading up to Berkley Mania 7, we have the challenger, Clay Jacobs, who is coming off of a horrible injury that has had him out for about 7-8 months, if not longer. He didn't know if he was going to come back at all, and he's rehabbed himself, and he's done everything he could to come back to WDWA to face off against one of the best champions WDWA has ever had, and that's the Exile Zakar Shah. This match alone, if you took every match off the card and you just promoted this match is worth the ticket admission itself. I cannot wait to see what happens here, guys.
Well, you know what? Yeah. I couldn't agree more. John, I know how you're feeling about that matchup, boy.
That's definitely going to be a good matchup. You know that I've watched this story build through the whole from beginning all the way till now, and I tell you, it's been one heck of a story. And you know, who better can we have to bring us up to date on this story and make sure that everybody has the good understanding of it than the man himself, Mr. Clay Jacobs.
Hello.
Big man's back.
Sorry, I went out for a drive, so I needed to clear my head before Saturday, so I'm chilling.
Clay, before you go any further, I hear a bunch of noise going on in your trunk. You're not up to some shenanigans, are you?
Hey, we don't talk about it. Keep it shut.
Okay, we'll just leave it there. But it's just windy out. I got you.
A little windy in my back. I mean, my outside.
Well, welcome to the show, buddy. You've been listening to us for a little while, man. What's on your mind? What's on your heart, bro? Clearly, you got something big coming up. But how the hell you been?
Oh, I'm excited. Y'all, if you followed me for my entire career, I'm a little violent. I'm a little not too smart up in the head, but I'm ready to fight. I think that's why I had to drive a little bit and to come out and sit by this lake that I'm at. No pun intended to the wind you heard. But I'm feeling good. I feel healthy. And that's a scary thing for anybody that's going to be involved in this so-called this last man standing match we got going on Saturday. because I feel better than a year ago. So a year ago, I didn't have metal in my ankle. So we're just going to, you know what I mean? So wink, wink. Oh, I'm excited. I feel good. How's everybody else feeling?
John?
Hey, I'm feeling great, and it's good to be here. Good to be able to talk with you again, have you on the show again, because we've had you before, and it was great getting to talk to you then, and we appreciate Gavin setting this up for us. So, I know you don't want to give away too many surprises, but what can we expect coming Saturday night?
Many things. A lot of things that can be thrown, including Zakar himself. I don't know. If I give too much away, it's not going to be fun for everybody. But I'm going to unleash hell.
Whoa!
Oh, here he is. Hey,
are we
Sweetie.
supposed to have a screener? Is this somebody supposed to be screening our guests? I know. Listen, I know he's the champ, but Zakar, you were not scheduled to be here. What? This is abuse of power. Somebody unmute this man, please, and make sure that we can hear him.
Zakar, I wasn't scheduled to be here.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
What are you doing?
You don't determine when I show up. Nobody actually determines when I show up.
Man, we could have got you a spot, man. If you would have just reached out to me, we could have arranged this. What are you doing? Right now it's Clay's time, man.
Arrange what? The thing I already did? Didn't even need to talk to you. Did it myself. Here I am.
I can't even control the boards right now. What is this?
The guy you need to be talking to is the WDWA heavyweight champion. I'm the champion. That's the challenger. That's the guy that can warm up, show up, lose, and then get out of my ring.
I'm going to try to officiate this here a little bit. John, let's give these gentlemen an opportunity to hash this out. Guys, we're going to get out of your way and see if you can get a little bit of these problems resolved before you guys burn the entire building down this upcoming Saturday. What do you guys have to say?
Oh, Zakar, you piece of shit. You can't even give me 3 minutes to just talk and get everything off my chest. Maybe a little therapy session. You got to hop in here and run your little mouth like you're a little paper champion that you are, all because I've been gone. You can't.
Been gone. Why have you been gone? Do you want to tell anybody?
I don't know. Maybe I fell off a ladder. Oh, sorry. Let me get it right. You pushed me off a ladder, and I shattered my ankle into like 10s and 20s of pieces.
What happens when you enter a ladder match with Zakar Shah? Now, what do you think's going to happen when you enter a last man standing match with Zakar Shah?
So you've been in the ladder match with me, but you've never been where there's other things I can use. You've been in little normal matches where I got maced. I don't know if you remember that. That's been a little bit ago. Your little boys who you got in the back that are probably going to come out, I'm already expecting it. I'll make sure I somehow get you away so I can beat the everlasting shit out of all of them.
Okay, just quickly here, Clay, and I hate to interrupt you. I want to ask Zakar this question. I think you'll appreciate this, Mr. Jacobs. Zakar, listen, and from afar, and people in Kansas City are paying attention to this match. This is a huge deal. A lot of people are calling this the main event of the evening, even though there's a lot of matches on the card that are main event worthy, obviously. One question will bring everybody else back in. Zakar, people have stated, and I know you've heard the rumors, that your time as champion won't receive that full-blown stamp, unquestioned champion until you defeat Clay Jacobs. I don't know if that's true or not. This is just speculation. Do you feel like you need to check off Clay Jacobs off your list to make sure that your heavyweight championship run at WDWA is all that you want it to be? The floor is yours.
It's not necessarily that I need to lay Clay Jacobs out to check him off a list. No, it's not even that I like to come to West Virginia and defend this championship, or I like to perform in front of West Virginia. I'm showing up this Saturday because I hate Clay Jacobs enough to show up this Saturday to beat him up. It's not about making anything official. I have been the WDWA heavyweight champion. Whether Clay likes to admit it or not, I took it from him. Now that you're finally able to walk like a normal person again. You have a shot. You have a rematch. You have a last man standing match, which I'm sure is what you requested. So once I beat you, once I lay you out for the 10 count, I just wonder, Clay, is there going to be another excuse?
All right. Look, before I start crying because I'm laughing my little ass off, I just want you to know something. If you remember, about 2 months after I had surgery, I chased your ass out of Berkley Mania 6. So you lost that title the first time. And I was on crutches. I was on crutches. And everybody thinks that this is going to be some little... No. Here, I got to take this headphone out because now I'm getting heated. But if you ran from me before Supremacy was really taking off, now you can hide behind these 3 or 4 little boys, put a weapon in my hand, and I'm already equal. It doesn't matter. I'm not scared of you. If anything, I think you're kind of funny. A last man standing match is just an extra, a bit of fun for me. I like pain. The last time I fought you and I slammed you on some ladders, you cried like a little bitch half the time. And the only reason you won that ladder match is because my ankle was literally bending because I couldn't get up. It wouldn't allow me to put my weight.
And then you cried like a little bitch.
Oh, I didn't cry, bucko. I went, I got repaired, came to last year's Berkley Mania, chased your ass out, and then I was starting to make a comeback. I was coming back. I was ready to fight, and then I got attacked by Sexy and Blessed. I think that's what they call themselves. I don't fucking know. But after that, I was still on my feet, and then you hit me with a car, and then not even, 4 months after that, I returned again. You cannot keep me down for 10 seconds. How are you going to win this match?
Did you really Rikishi Clay Jacobs? Did that really happen?
Dog, he hit me with a car.
Come on, man. Come on, Zakar. Well, I guess you got to take drastic measures if you want to say. Let me just get a quick unbiased opinion here, John. You're at a lot of these shows, just doing coverage as a reporter for the Wrestle Talk podcast, man. How do you say? And I'm not saying you need to pick a winner, but do you think the people on the first and second row need to beware come this matchup, especially considering what the stipulations are? What do you think?
Oh, I think more than first and second row are probably going to have to be aware, because I have a feeling this will go much further than the ring, much further than first and second row. This is probably going to go all over the place since it's last man standing. And these two have such a hatred between them that, it's hard to tell where they're going to end this thing. They might end up on the roof. Who knows? It's hard to tell. And you're going to have to watch out. And you never know what's coming. That's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, the biggest thing in a last man standing match is being able to keep your opponent down. And I'll go ahead and let the man himself ask that question, because ultimately the man that puts all this together, right, that stays up late into the night figuring out how this is all going to work. Gavin, I'm not asking you to pick a winner either, but when you're putting together a match like this, what do you have in mind? Is it entertainment? Is it violence? Is it retribution? Or is it all of the above?
Well, when it comes to this match, Clay Jacobs won a Rumble to deserve this match. There was nothing about me that had anything to do with setting this up, with the exception of when we came up with the contract, we laid it out that it would be last man standing.
And you told everybody except Zakar Shah.
No. Zakar Shah did not read the contract. That's not my fault. You
You're
even
in
had
that
a
little-
lawyer by your side, you know,
That little
and
piece
you
of
chose
shit
to not
lawyer.
read it. You know?
Well, hey, listen, I will say this. We did speak to Zakar's representation, and we implored them to get off of AOL and to get some high-speed internet finally, but apparently they're not all that interested in doing that. But, hey, the champ is going to do what the champ's going to do.
You think you're so funny, but the only one laughing is Clay, and he laughs at everything, so you haven't really accomplished much.
That's fine. I've been told that all the time. So it's okay.
We knew we had to make this match a last man standing match. As you heard, Zakar's tried to take him out with a car. Zakar and his cronies took him out and backstage when he tried to come help Keikoa. Constantly.
Shouldn't have been trying to help Keikoa. It was none of his business.
He pushed him off a ladder, which resulted in a horrible injury.
In a ladder match.
But what I'm saying is Clay still got up. He still kept coming. So I'm not saying that Clay's going to beat Zakar. All I'm saying is that if Zakar wants to beat Clay, he's got to keep him down for 10 seconds. And then there'll be no question whether or not Zakar can beat Clay. Because right now,
that's a
if
really.
I remember, after that ladder match, Clay stayed down for a good 20 minutes before he got stretchered into an ambulance. I don't think he stood up. I don't think he walked away.
I'll give you that for a second, but I want you to remember that my whole ankle was completely.
I also remember.
And I will do it again.
I also remember showing up at the hospital to check on Clay and finding your ass looking right over him.
Oh yeah, I remember that
and
one
I had
too.
to wheel Clay out that night.
I remember that.
Back home. Like you couldn't even leave it.
If I wanted to do something,
you won your
would've.
championship. You won
Why
your
didn't you,
championship. And you couldn't even go celebrate. You had to go to the hospital and rub it in his face. Now, what kind of punk ass shit is that?
That is pretty weak. I mean,
like you won. Congrats, man. Go party with Supremacy.
So I guess I have to ask this final question, like about you, Zakar. So is this personal with Clay, or is this just the way that Zakar Enterprises handles business? Is this just modus operandi, as they say?
No, it slowly became personal with Clay because as time has gone by, he's starting to represent all that I hate about West Virginia. He personifies it.
Come on, man.
No, I'm being serious about this. He's it. I hate the fact that every time I walk in there, from the first time I walked into WDWA, I got told nasty things. And the next person that walked out was him. And they adored him. And I hadn't done a thing there yet. That personalized it for me. That made it personal. This guy is what they like. And everything about him disgusts me. So I'll show you how easy it is to take him out for somebody like me. For somebody who's not from West Virginia. Somebody who's from Iran. Who's gone through something. Who's been through something. That's what I told you last time in that ladder match. You don't want to give an immigrant a ladder. I know how to hurt people.
Oh, dear God.
You, Clay.
Jeez.
We're different. I'm not spoiled like you.
Jeez.
Spoiled?
I'm particularly sensitive to that latter comment because I'm an immigrant and I'm from Mexico. So, like, that's crazy. Here's what I would love to see. If Zakar loses, I think he should have to sing a couple of verses from John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads. I think that would be amazing. Hey, Gavin, I will give that to you to contemplate, but to hear him sing Country Roads, Take Me Home to the Place I Belong, that would be freaking
that belongs
priceless.
In West Virginia is Clay, because he
that
looks
would
like
be
every
so
single
good.
one of them there.
My goodness. All right, gentlemen, to your corners. Gavin, we'll give you the floor again concerning this particular matchup one more time. What and when did it become official that these two were going to face off? And I know you've got 10 matches. Where exactly did you position this match on the card for Berkley Mania 7, for those that are wondering?
This is main event. Like I said, Clay won his opportunity at our Rumble match called Over the Top back in June. And this is way into the making of what everybody has been hoping for, praying for. If you guys could see my messenger about how many people reached out to me while Clay was gone, about when is he coming back. He needs to take this from Zakar. Supremacy is causing nothing but havoc. Nobody can stop him. This is what the fans want, and I am the promoter that wants to give the fans what they want. So once Clay got that opportunity, wasn't even a second thought. This was the main event. This is what everybody's coming to see. And like I said, I'm giving Zakar his flowers. Like, the guy's good. The guy's great. He's one of the best WDWA champions we have ever had. But he also didn't get that on his own. You know, he's had 4 other guys help him get there. And you're putting a guy like Clay, a guy with you're putting him in a match with no rules, where you literally have to almost knock somebody out for 10 seconds. I mean, it's literally hell comes to Martinsburg, Berkley Mania, this Saturday night.
And I want to say, like, the crowd is split. You've got people saying that Zakar is an immature POS, and then he's winning people over. Our guy Will, he's actually from the great state of Georgia. Not as great as Florida, but, you know, Georgia's nice too. I mean, the crowd is split about 50-50 right now, and I'm incredibly shocked. I mean, I know for the most part, Clay is going to have the hometown fans behind him, but at least here tonight on the Wrestle Talk podcast, it seems like we're pretty well split, about 50-50 amongst the audience.
Hey, I don't mind that he's going to have the crowd behind him. I don't mind that he's going to be the hometown kid. I'm used to fighting in enemy territory. I'm an Iranian living in America. I've dealt with this before.
Here we go. We're going to use that whole thing. This isn't about that. I don't give a shit about that.
It's not about
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Let me talk.
Let me talk. Show is bring up excuses. My leg was broken in half. Well, be a better wrestler, and you can protect your leg in that ring.
All right,
with me.
I'm gonna calm
You couldn't
down.
hang with me then. You
I have an
can't hang
idea,
with me now.
gentlemen. I have a great idea, because I feel like, and I'm sure Gavin would agree, this would probably go on forever if we had enough time. But there is a way that we've come up with here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, and obviously it's not going to be to the extent of the main event of Berkley Mania 7. Again, you guys heard what we were talking about. The rest of the guys on this card, for you guys to be elevated, and you earned it, obviously, to the main event position, I think both of you guys should be incredibly proud of yourselves. I mean, we were talking about, like I said, some of the other talent that's on this card that could easily be main eventing all over the place. So regardless of what you think about Zakar or Clay, guys, there's some respect that needs to be doled out to both of these men to be main eventing the biggest show of the year for WDWA. And then what I was going to say is, if we want to let out a little bit of this aggression, but also not spoil it for the fans that are going to be going to Berkley Mania 7 this upcoming Saturday, why don't we face off, have Clay Jacobs and the champion go one-on-one in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge. This, gentleman, will not challenge your physical ability. It'll challenge your mental ability when it comes to the world of professional wrestling. I have to ask permission of the promoter first, Mr. Jackson. Are you okay with this matchup tonight?
I am absolutely okay with it. This is your show.
No, man, this is your show, bro. We're just here to provide a platform. You guys have done such an incredible job. Not only the guys that have been on screen, but all the awesome fans of WDWA. Just a quick shout out to Renee Findley. A big shout out to Steven Netz. Shout out to, there's a bunch of people I can't see because the messages disappeared. AJ Wallace also here tonight. Gabriel here, and quite a Dashing Donnie Diablo. Thank you guys from all over the country have been chiming in today. We have been, again, double-digit viewers for the entirety of the 2-hour show up to this point. That is incredible. So thank you guys for doing that. But I guess the only thing left to do is to ask Clay, are you down to go against Zakar in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge?
I'm not the brightest, but I just.
It's about wrestling, baby.
Oh, I know that.
It's about wrestling.
How dumb this stupid piece of shit is.
But Clay, it's about wrestling, bro. This is your thing. This is what you know. It's wrestling trivia. Wrestling trivia.
Yeah. Let's go.
And Zakar, you said you're Iranian. Obviously, you guys have high intellect. A lot of people know. Iranian. Okay, so you're like Patrick Bet David? Patrick Bet David? Iranian? Is that right? Iran. All right, Iran. All right, respect. Okay, so high intellect versus a man that's been around wrestling, Clay Jacobs, his entire life since he was located in good old West Virginia. So Me and Gavin are going to take a step back. We will be the judges in case there's a tie. My guy, the one and only Hardcore Hoss, the longest reigning hardcore champion in FWWC history, will be administering tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Game Show Challenge. Gentlemen,
You already know it's biased.
no, it's not, bro. We don't have.
I live in your head rent free. I swear to God.
There's no bias.
Shut up.
Let's do it, John. It's all yours, baby. Do your thing.
All right, let's go ahead and put that music.
By the way, this is how a professional waits instead of flipping the camera off.
No one said
Welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are Zakar Shah, WDWA's World Heavyweight Champion, and Clay Jacobs. Okay. In a few moments, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's Game Show Challenge. And you don't have to wait till the end of the question. Whenever you think you know the answer, just shout it out. And you can shout out multiple times if you're not right. In honor of WDWA's Berkley Mania 7, tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge category is WrestleMania 7. I will give you information about 3 professional wrestlers who competed at WrestleMania 7. When you think you know the answer, shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 out of 3 falls wins tonight's contest. Are you clear on the rules, gentlemen?
Sure.
Zakar?
Go ahead.
All right. Question number 1. This WWE Hall of Famer won the only non-televised match at WrestleMania 7. Name this wrestler known for his macaw Frankie.
Ooh. I got a deep dive way back in this brain. Hold on.
Coco Beware?
Zakar takes the first fall.
Good for you, sweet cheeks.
Score is 1-0, Zakar.
Got him. Got him.
Okay. Question number 2. This WWE Hall of Famer, after being blinded by Rick the Model Martel, won a blindfold match against him at WrestleMania 7.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake Roberts is correct. Zakar Shah has won the second fall and therefore has actually won tonight's Game Show Challenge.
Clay, that's how quickly I'll beat you in the match also.
I'll let you have this win, baby. Don't you worry.
I tell you what, I do have another question here. If you would like to try the third question just to see if you can completely sweep Clay Jacobs.
Sure, I can
Sweep me now. Sweep me now.
Sweep me now, Daddy.
Do it. That's not going to happen Saturday.
All right.
I want to be here for this.
This third question. This WWE Hall of Famer won his first WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 7. He went on to have the longest WrestleMania winning streak in history.
Undertaker.
Undertaker is correct.
Good job. I'm really proud of you. Do you want a sticker?
Yeah. Give me one. You got one?
Jeez Louise, gentlemen.
I'll
well,
put
that
it
was
right
just a
on your
preview.
forehead, and then I'll staple it. How about that?
Wow.
Oh, you're more than welcome. You can staple it right here where this staple mark is. You see that?
Maybe I'll put it on the other side so, you know, it all works out together.
All
All
right.
right, gentlemen, we'll give you one last opportunity. We'll start with the challenger first. Jacobs, final words for your opponent this upcoming Saturday, possibly the biggest match of your career for the WDWA Heavyweight Championship, man. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Zakar, I really hope that you rest. I hope that you, wherever you pray to, I truly hope that you've come to terms with everything, because recently I ain't been in the right headspace, and I think it's because of you. I think you live in my head rent free, and that's all right, because what happens to you Saturday is not going to be pretty. It's not going to be PG. It's not going to be anything that a lot of people are going to be okay seeing. I'm going to physically maim you in front of everyone for the amount of days I've been out of this business. And you took me out for a very long time, and I commend you for it. Not many people could do that. But what pisses me off more is that you use your little cronies every single time you had a chance to throw a punch at me. I think I even destroyed Chulo, Montana in front of you while you could have easily pulled the ref out of the way, but you watched. You sat there and you watched. What type of leader is that? So for that, what I'm going to do on Saturday is not only take your belt, I'm going to sever the head of Supremacy, and I'm going to watch his whole kingdom fall to the ground. I don't care if I actually walk out of that match. What's going to happen is if I go down, Zakar, like I said in that promo I posted, you're coming with me. That's not anything other than a promise. And I want you to truly take those words, and I want you to put them in the ear, and I want them to come back, and I want them to really hit in your brain for a second. I'm going to beat the everlasting shit out of you in front of everyone in Berkeley. And I'm ready. I don't think you're physically ready, because you know you got those cronies just sitting there and just waiting. And I really hope they come out, because if they do, I will bring them down with you. And I'll make sure they fall first. I'll make sure they don't move. And everybody will be down for a 10 count. So Clay will truly beat not only Zakar, but Supremacy. That's a promise. And I'll die on that hill.
Wow. Amazing and firm words from the challenger. Now, your champion.
Clay, the biggest mistake that I made in that ladder match was after I unhooked the belt and I won that match. The biggest mistake I made was that hospital looked at you and laughed. I should have taken you out there, so I wouldn't have to deal with this all over again. But this Saturday, fix that mistake. Take you out. I'm not focused on taking you out for a 10 count. End your career this time. I want to make sure you don't come back to challenge me for this, because I don't want to go through this with you again. That's all I have to say to you, Clay. August 31st, this Saturday, I will get rid of you for good, so you don't bug me anymore.
And that does it for the two main event superstars of Berkley Mania 7. Gavin, I'm going to throw it over to John, because I know I have a final question. But John, what a treat. What a treat to not only be going into that season of episode 500, but also to see one of our best partners, one of our most loyal partners for a long time, from the Latin Tornado now to Gavin Jackson, doing what they do best at the biggest show of the year, Berkley Mania 7. John, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, definitely. And Gavin, I want to thank you for setting up the interview tonight and for working with us on this. You know, it has been a pleasure, and definitely looking forward to Saturday night. And you've got your hands full, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not lying, man. I specifically had to take out extra insurance on the building just because I know how crazy these guys can get. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Like, I've been wanting to see these guys go again since Clay's gotten hurt. I wanted this revenge to happen. I love the fact that I'm able to promote this match and give the people what they want. But I'll be honest, like, I don't know which way we're going to go, because if Clay doesn't win, he's got nothing to stand on now. There's no excuses. How does he move forward after this? And then if Zakar wins, or I'm sorry, if Clay wins, he can finally shut up Zakar once and for all. Like, it's more than just the title that's at stake here. And I don't think people really know because, they're not really in the business, about the launching pad that big events like this are for people. This could either make you or this can break you. So as much as I love being the one to promote this, it kind of makes me nervous. Two of my top guys are going out there and one may fall and may never come back again. I'm excited, nervous. So many emotions going through my head. Constantly people are blowing up my phone about this match. Guys, if you don't see this match live, make sure you see it on our show Frontline on YouTube, because this is totally gonna knock your shoes off, man. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Now, Gavin, I may have missed it, but did we ever figure out who was actually behind the wheel of that car that ran down Clay?
Yes, it was Stephen Forte driving and Zakar in the passenger seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what they say? I don't want no scrub riding on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to. I know I'm dating myself a little bit. The promoter can't say anything, but I can. I'm a podcaster, damn it. I can say what I want. Oh, goodness. I guess I did want to ask one last question, and this goes into the personal thing, and I think you have an interesting story, Gavin, so you can keep this as brief as you want. Your support system. I know none of this happens without the people that are probably sharing a roof with you right now, your family, those that are closest to you, man. Do you want to shout them out, thank them, acknowledge them for supporting you in this venture? I know that not even Wrestle Talk is possible without my beautiful wife, my children, my family, my coworkers, my colleagues. So this is our opportunity to kind of put them over, because I think we all talk about wrestling, but there's a big thing. There's a pillar, and it's usually family. What's that pillar for you?
Absolutely, man. And thank you for that. I have an incredible wife who deserves the world. She has been such a supporter and cheerleader for not only my wrestling career, but for me to live any dream that I want. She is truly amazing, and we have 3 kids who are absolutely amazing, that I would give up this entire wrestling world that I love for all my 3 kids and my wife. When it came down for WDWA going up for sale, it was either going to go for sale or it was going to close. It was either going to go to me or it was going to close. That's what Andreas said. I sat down with my family and I made clear to them about the sacrifices that not only I will make, but they will have to make when it comes to time and money and things like that. And I received nothing but love and support from all of them. And yeah, I'm the promoter. Yeah, I'm the booker. Yeah, I'm financially moving this thing forward. But they are the structure to my system. They're what keep me up. They're what keeps me moving. I couldn't do any of this without their support, nor would I want to. And you take that into consideration, and then I've had a group of people behind the scenes that have been great. Whether they're with WDWA, whether they're not, the people that have reached out, and I see Bernie D just made a message. He's been a big supporter. Mike Nolan, some other local promoters. A lot of people have given me the blessing and given me the motivation, and at the same time, been very encouraging to the product I've been able to put on, as well as where we're going in the future. And for the guys and girls that put on the show for everyone else, I have never been in a locker room these past 8 months where there's been nothing but everyone supporting each other and putting on the best show in all my years of wrestling. I've never been in such a great locker room, and the sky's the limit of where WDWA is going from here. And between my support system at home, my support system at the shows, I am truly blessed by God in every way for the World Domination Wrestling Alliance and the way that it's taken off. And I thank you guys for being able to showcase us on your platform. And I mean, John Hoss was there. He knows that I've been, promoting my butt off, trying to get out there and meet and greet all the local people. Anybody that knows me knows that, I speak from the heart when I talk, and I'm not just trying to sell a product to you. All I want is for people to come see WDWA, and once they come through that door, from the time they come in the door to the time they leave, is I just want them to leave their burdens at the door. There is no jobs, there is no bills, there's no nothing. And for those next 2 to 3 hours, we are just, as a unit, a WDWA family, enjoying pro wrestling. And the fact that I have been able to have this platform to give people that opportunity, I put God above it all, and I couldn't have done anything without him. So, thank you to everyone that wants the best for WDWA. Thank you, guys.
And my very last comment will be, I have always admired the way that WDWA has put their faith at the forefront. We have been turned down for interviews and even chastised by guests. We have a resident chaplain here. You've probably heard of him, Big Daddy P. Gavin. He does a prayer with us almost every single week. Him and his beautiful wife happen to be on vacation. But again, it's just another reason that we admire your promotion. Not only you have incredible talent and you put your heart into everything that you do, but the fact that you're not afraid to lead with that, I think is highly impressive in a world that it's kind of hard to lead with your faith these days. It's easier to lead with titles and pronouns and things like this than to lead with your faith. So just from Renee to Gavin, that's something that I've always admired about you guys. So carry on, brother. Carry on.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No problem. John, you want to say goodbye? I think our time has come.
Yeah, as I've already said several times, thank you for arranging this. It's been a pleasure. And trust me, when he says that, he's passionate and he talks from his heart, and he truly does, even at midnight, standing in the middle of the field at the fair.
I got to hear this whole story. When you come back on, we got to hear that story.
Yeah. Honestly, the story's real short, man. Berkley Mania is coming up. I have been hitting the streets, hitting the roads, whenever there's a big event in the local Martinsburg area. There was 2 local fairs recently. I was at the fair the entire week. John just happened to show up because he lived locally there, and him and I chatted. Let me see, the fair closed maybe about 10 o'clock. They started closing our doors on us inside where we were set up. And John and I were outside, in the grass until probably after midnight. And finally, I didn't want to get in trouble, when I got home. So I was like, John, I got to go, brother. But yeah, man, long story short, it was just great to spend time with John. And, again, I don't take any of this for granted. And to be able to have fans turned into friends and things like that, I don't have any other words except for blessing. I'm so grateful to everybody that's bought a WDWA ticket and supported us any way they have. So
Well, and I'll put another feather in your cap as we sign off. This entire interview, just on the Facebook, we've been high double digits the moment that you came on. So thank you guys for sharing, giving us the rub. We're glad that we can give you kind of the national rub as well. And more than anything else, bro, you've been a longtime member. You said 10 years was your first appearance here on the show. So as far as I'm concerned, you're an OG member of the Wrestle Talk family. So respect to you, Gavin. Have a good night, boss.
All right, guys. Take care. Good luck with everything.
Yeah. Peace. Good. Hey, smart move on that insurance. Smart move. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, I'm going to need it. I don't know if you guys saw that message that Clay put up. It says
I saw him. I found you. I see that. Yo, these boys.
I got to make some calls, man. Make sure
you better get some cash.
I need to keep my main event
out of jail. That's right. Keep that line clear. Peace.
All right, fellas. Have a good night.
Adios. Ladies and gentlemen, the proprietor, the new owner, the well-received new owner of a fantastic promotion. Going back to Latin Tornado, man, Andres has always been a friend of the show. Shout out Puerto Rico. Now that it's Gavin, bro, it's in great hands, and it's just getting, like Caleb says, baby, higher and higher and higher. You love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. And the product just keeps getting better and better. And, I don't know where WDWA would be. Actually, probably wouldn't be anywhere right now if Gavin hadn't taken it over. He's done one hell of a job with it, and I don't just say that because he came on the show tonight or anything. It's the honest truth that he's done one hell of a job since he took over. So I definitely commend him.
And that poor guy, hope he keeps his hair, because it sounds like he's going to have to chase down Clay and make sure he's not already getting his hands on the champ. And you see Bernie D talking about, I told him not to do nothing. So I think that's it. We're going to show you that preview for episode 500 one more time. We can go ahead and throw up the sponsors as well. I don't have a problem hitting those. And housekeeping we got.
It's funny that you mentioned Bernie keeping his hair, because there was one show not too long ago where Supremacy did shave Bernie's head. There's pictures of that on Wrestle Talk podcast page. So,
well, I know exactly what I'm doing right after this.
So, but let me go ahead and I'll throw the sponsors up if you want to hit them there. So here we go.
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thanks to our tremendous sponsors, starting with Royal Mills Transportation, Nobleman's Barber Lounge, KC Mo, the Kincaid Arcade, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Little Popeye Designs, and the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC.
That's right.
That's right. Last thing we're going to hit y'all with is the preview for episode 500. We've got some more cool stuff coming. Make sure you keep it locked into all of our social media platforms. I did want to announce that we are live on Twitch now. Thanks to my guy Haas for spearheading that thing. But we are no longer streaming live to X because we don't have a Premiere account with them yet. But we're experimenting on the X platform, and if we feel like it's worth it, we'll go ahead and make the investment so you guys can see us on there as well. But as far as tonight goes, thank you to everybody who tuned in. If you haven't already, hit the like, hit the share, hit the heart, and we will be sure to catch you again here for episode 498 of the Wrestle Talk podcast as we continue and are on the road to the biggest show in our history, episode 500, coming up on September 14th. I am the Night Owl. He is Hardcore Hoss. We love y'all. God bless. And remember, #Let's Talk Wrestling. Good night, everybody.